nothing, I was hungry. Now I got a couple niggas, bitches on me. Fuck nigga, I don't wanna be your homie. I had to make a couple bands by my lonely. I had to make a couple bands by my lonely.
Oh. Did you miss me? I missed you guys. It's been a while. I can't lie. It's been. Jeez. I always say Ken instead of can, and been instead of been. It's been 2 weeks since I've talked to you guys. 2 weeks. What has happened? What are we doing? Hold up, let me get a sip. Wait, what is this? Oh, no, it's pre-workout. Chill. We're not there yet. We gotta get the Echo Light, baby. The Echo Light. Tap in. Blackberry lemonade, the best flavor. Anyway, 1 second. Split the G right to the label. Oh, it's been an eventful 2 weeks. I'm not gonna lie. It's been an eventful 2 weeks. Lots of stuff, life stuff, social stuff, you name it. But we're back. And then for me, I'm a very routine individual. So once I stop doing something, it's hard for me to bring it back. And the YouTube was one of those things. Like, trust me, I understand. I've seen the positive feedback that these videos get. So I'm very grateful that you guys like to listen to me yap while I literally just drive to the gym. I know it's very low effort on my end, but I always say this. What's the line I'm gonna say? Like, I'm a coach first. So my clients take precedent, they take priority. And I'm just very busy with this time of year, right? What you do now sets yourself up for success in the summer. And majority of people, when they want to get in shape, a lot of guys specifically, because I mainly coach men, not that I don't coach women, but I mainly coach men, their goal is to, be confident, take their shirt off, look good on the beach, like stuff like that, right? That's a very common goal. And too many people decide to start their diets way too soon. And if you guys have heard me talk, and you guys have been here for a long time, you know what I'll always say. You have less muscle than you think, and you have more fat than you think. Way more, right? I don't want to harp on that because I've talked about it a lot, but you don't just have 20, 30 pounds to lose. You probably have 40, 50, 60, and sometimes even more. And that's not even to get you stage lean. That's to get you lean. There's levels, right? I'm pretty sure JP has this like crazy scale. There's like, I don't even know. There's like fat, not fat, lean, peeled, and then like Corin or something like that. I don't know how he says it, but you can always get leaner. And in the words of, what's his name? He's my favorite actor. I can't even think of it. American Psycho. You could always look better, be thinner. You could always be thinner, look better. I don't know. I always forget, but that movie's fantastic, by the way. I've talked about this before. My favorite 3 movies, starting with number 1, The Dark Knight, Christian Bale. Number 2, Interstellar, Matthew McConaughey. Number 3, American Psycho. That is bam, bam, bam. For me, those are my 3 favorite movies. I'm a big movie guy. I'm a big TV show guy. Tap into Pluribus, tap into Landman. Those are the 2 shows that I'm watching currently. I do believe Pluribus is out tonight on Apple TV, and I'm extremely excited to see where that heads, because the last episode revealed a lot, which I'm extremely excited for. I can't wait to see that. There's so many things I want to talk about, so many topics. My mind's just going crazy right now. I need to just like dial in on one. So I wanted to drop some nutrition game, some technique game. So we'll start with nutrition. Okay, we'll start with the whole trend of TDEE maxing. I kind of find it funny because I made one video on YouTube and I made like a couple videos on TikTok, and obviously I'm always walking on the treadmill, so that shit catches like wildfire. And now all of a sudden everyone's TDEE maxing, everyone's hopping on the treadmill. That is the positive impact I like to see, baby. Let's go. No more of this sedentary lifestyle, basement dwelling, eating chips and being lazy. No, we do not fuck with lazy people. If you are lazy, you are not in my circle. Absolutely not. What is the saying? You are the combination of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. So make sure that you're surrounding yourself with not lazy fucks. Okay? Excuse my language. That's number 1. So TDE maxing, how to do it, when to do it, when not to do it, etc. First, I'll say when not to do it. The goal of TDEE maxing is essentially just to promote a more active lifestyle, okay? And because you are promoting a more active lifestyle and you are living a more active lifestyle, you are going to be able to eat more food and maintain your current body composition. Now, the issue is when people take that principle and apply it into hypocaloric conditions. Hypocaloric is just a fancy, smart guy word of saying a calorie deficit. Now, the reason why you don't want to crank cardio in a calorie deficit is because of what is known as the constrained energy model. And this model is something that I've talked about in plenty of videos, but more specifically, it's going to pertain to these conditions where you are depriving yourself of energy. So you're in a calorie deficit. This is when you don't want to push your steps to 30, 20, 30, 40,000, do all these hours of cardio, because what's going to happen is your body's smart. Your body is going to conserve resources from other or from other systems like your immune system, things like that. It's going to conserve energy by down regulating your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So you could earlier on in the day you do all this cardio, but then later on in the day you're going to be fidgeting less, you're going to be adjusting your posture less, you're going to be talking less, talking slower, not moving your hands, all of these things, which is going to lead to a more equated energy balance, less linear increase when it comes to your total daily energy expenditure. So there is significant diminishing returns. Now, I'm not saying that if you increase your expenditure on a deficit, that's not going to allow you to eat more food, because it definitely is. It's just that there are diminishing returns, and more so than if you are at a eukcaloric state or caloric maintenance, or a hypercaloric state being a caloric surplus. So when do I recommend you TDEE max? If you are coming off of a deficit and you're going into maintenance, because what's going to happen is your hunger signaling is through the roof. So to allow you to eat more food and not get fat, you crank expenditure, and you're able to crank expenditure because you are feeding your body. You think of your body as like a race car. You're feeding your body to be able to perform, to be able to do these tasks that are fatiguing, that's going to take stuff out of you, but you are refilling the tank by eating more food. That is the idea behind TDE maxing. Don't do it when you are dieting. I don't recommend pounding back cardio and cranking your steps. Yeah, especially if you don't know what you're doing. But that being said, if you are at maintenance or you're coming into maintenance after a deficit, help yourself. You can always move more, you can always eat more. The constrained energy model is not, it's going to be more forgiving when you are feeding your body, okay? With that being said, I need to do a caveat that yes, you can still push energy expenditure high while you're dieting. I'm not saying that you can't, but if you're going to do that, then make sure you are doing less taxing forms of expenditure. So walking, incline walking, biking, elliptical, swimming, rowing, you name it. And I would probably prioritize less duration. So prioritize something like incline walking over flat walking, as it's going to burn significantly more calories. It's going to burn significantly, I think I said that wrong, but regardless, that's what I would do personally. Incline walking is fantastic. I highly recommend you tap in. So with that being said, we'll move on. Aggressive dieting is not vaulted. Stop listening to these people. Aggressive dieting is not vaulted. Aggressive dieting is fine. And to be honest, it's my preferred approach. I prefer aggressive dieting for myself and a lot of clients that I work with. But you have to know how to do it. You have to know how to set yourself up. But realistically, when we're dieting, our main goal is muscle retention, right? And how are we going to retain muscle? Well, we need a sufficient amount of protein and we need a sufficient amount of training stimulus. Those two things. While you're dieting, you want to drop your volume significantly because you're going to have less resources. Excuse me. You're gonna have less resources, so you should drop your volume. Do not drop your frequency. There could be an argument to be made where you would want to increase your frequency to something like every other day with the potential increased rates of atrophy. So lower your volume, make sure frequency is high, make sure protein is high, and make sure that you are maintaining your training stimulus. Yes, especially if you have to lose 40 pounds of weight, you are going to lose strength. It's inevitable. Does this mean that you're going to lose muscle? Not necessarily. They're not always going to be correlated, in the sense that you cannot build muscle without getting stronger, but you can get stronger without building muscle through things like neurological adaptations, yada, 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 yada. So with that being said, your goal is to uphold that performance, to maintain that performance as much as possible, even if you're aggressively dieting, and especially if you don't have as many calories to put towards recovery and training, then make sure you are doing less volume. Even one set performed twice a week is potentially enough to maintain. So one set performed 3 times a week or every other day is going to see you net growth. One set 2 times a week is potentially going to see you net growth as well. So one set performed 3 or every other day is still going to be fine. That brings me to the next topic, because I'm yapping and I'm kind of like bridging the gaps here. The whole full body one set thing, it gets a lot of hate. Why does it get a lot of hate? I have no idea. It is a fantastic way to program. Too many of you guys do not have a stimulus issue. What you have is a recovery issue. We've been told to train to failure and train hard for our entire lives. That's not an issue. If you look in gyms nowadays, it's not that people are not training to failure, it's that they're doing too much and they're under recovered, right? So that is why full body every other day, doing 1 set per exercise, is a fantastic way to program, because it ensures, as long as your programming is not, I don't know if I can say the R word on here, stupid, we'll go with that, then you're going to be recovered and you're going to be gifted progressions. Remember, progressive overload is the expression, not the adaptation. It is the expression that the adaptation has occurred. And those adaptations could be neurological adaptations, they could be tendon adaptations, they could be, for example, the main adaptation we're looking for is myofibrillar addition, which is going to be an increase in the sarcomere's cross-sectional area, adding sarcomeres in parallel, which is going to lead to an increase in cross-sectional area, which is going to lead to increased force production capacity. Okay, that is what we're active, and that is what we are. What's the word? We are looking for. We are actively chasing. Is that adaptation in particular, especially if we've been running the same exercise for an extended period of time. Okay. And that adaptation is going to be the adaptation of active mechanical tension, because active mechanical tension is the primary driver of myofibrillar addition. And active mechanical tension is unique to the concentric contraction. Sorry, that's false. Passive mechanical tension is unique to the eccentric contraction. Both active and passive. Okay. We're going to start this one. I'm speaking too fast. You have active mechanical tension during the concentric and eccentric, okay? But you only have passive mechanical tension on the eccentric. But because you have both active and passive mechanical tension on the eccentric contraction, you have twice as much force per muscle fiber, so activation is going to be significantly less, which is why majority of the gains are going to come from the concentric. That is what I was trying to say. My apologies. Too much caffeine. I'm kind of going a little bit crazy right now. But where was I? I had TDEE maxing. I had what else did I have? I had stimulus, volume, 1 set every other day, perfectly fine. You also have to take into consideration that there are crossover fibers, right? So for example, if you are doing a wide grip lat pull down, you're doing a narrow grip row, that's 2 sets for lats. That's 2 sets for lats. Just because it's 1 set per exercise does not mean that it's just 1 set per muscle, right? Same thing is with chest. I often program a wide grip or wider grip press, as well as a narrow or narrower grip press. to, better bias more of the upper pecs or the total pecs, sternocostal region. And that's 2 sets as well. You also have to take into consideration if you're pressing, then there's going to be some medial and lateral head. So when you're accounting for volume, you have to look at it like that, right? Even something like a leg extension, 1 set of a leg extension, 1 set of a squat, you're going to have 2 sets of your vastus muscles, and you're going to have 1 set of your rectus femoris, because your rectus femoris is not going to be trained in a squat pattern due to its antagonistic joint action, which is going to be flexing the hip, right? You guys see what I'm saying? There's so much that I wanted to talk to you guys about that I'm just like spewing stuff, as much information as I possibly can, because I'm approaching the gym. I'm probably going to be there in like 10 minutes. There are some changes that I wanted to make to my session, but I'm not too certain. I'm probably going to sit in the car and kind of theory craft. If anyone's into games, you guys know what I'm talking about. My training session. I don't know if I want to set up the Poliquin pushdown anymore. It's a fantastic movement. I just can't be asked to grab the bench, to grab the 2 plates, to get the daisy chain, to find the specific bar. It's just a lot, right? So I might just tap back into unilateral cable pushdowns. Tried and true. There's a fantastic movement for your long head. I might do a Smith machine floor press because I want a little bit more triceps, although I am doing 2 presses, so I'm going to be balancing it out a little bit. I'm doing 3 presses actually, 2 chest, 1 shoulder. The lateral raise machine, I kind of like it, but I might swap for a cable lateral. I'm not too sure. I'm really excited to train though. I definitely need to start recording more because I haven't been recording much footage. I am tapped very into the form pill. And again, it is kind of crazy. The influence is nuts. Like, I'm not trying to get at, the ego, whatever, but the influence is nuts. Like, I'll make 1 video talking about form, and then all of a sudden, like, you get a million people talking about form, which is great. That is what I want to see. That is positive influence. That is something that is going to benefit the science-based lifting community, and that has been my goal the past couple months, is to leave a positive impact. Like, I have to be accountable for the content that I post, because people, regardless if I put disclaimers or not, people are going to copy what I do, or they're going to take what I say at face value. So I have to make sure that I curate, I think that's the right word, my words and my posts in a way where it's going to be mutually beneficial, universally beneficial for everybody, which is tough, especially when you get into the nuancy stuff, where there's a lot of context. So it has to be almost general advice and very practical, so lifters of all shapes and sizes can apply it to their own training and benefit. So that is kind of what we're doing. But tap into the form pill. Okay, this is what I wanted to talk to you guys about. I don't know why it took me till I just got to the gym to tell you guys. Okay, 1, reset your lift next training session. Okay, that's number 1. What does that mean? That just means go into the training session, go into the set without any prior knowledge of what numbers that you hit last session. So go in with a fresh slate. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2 is stop adding load. I know that sounds crazy, but it's screwing you guys over in the long run. Stop adding weight. Okay, now what do? How do you progress? I want you guys to all follow the double progression method. What is the double progression method? Say we have a rep range of 4 to 8 reps. Okay, ideally we're going to leave 1 rep in the tank, because leaving that last rep off is mutually beneficial. The stimulus to fatigue ratio is not it. I recommend not going to task failure and leaving that rep off. But with that being said, do the double progression method. Pick a weight where you get 1 rep in reserve with perfect technique in the 4 to 6 rep range. For a lot of you guys, pick 5 or 6. Don't go to 4. 4 is overrated for 99% of lifters. Then what I want you to do is, next training session, don't add weight. you're only allowed to add weight once you get to the top end of that rep range, and you get to 8 reps with 1 rep in the tank, and it's clean as day, and they look the exact same as when you hit 4 or 5 reps. Then you could add 2.5 or 5 pounds if it's a multi-joint movement, or maybe even less if it's a single joint movement, and then that pushes you back down to the 5-6 rep range, and then you work your way back up. Sure, you could microload and you could stay at the same reps and continuously microload, but honestly, what happens there is technique goes to shit 99% of the time. So trust me, that is going to save a lot of you guys. Tap into the form pill, reset your lifts, TDEE max if you're at maintenance. I don't even know what else I talked about. Volume or some bullshit. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I am posting this one. I don't care. Much love. I appreciate all you guys, and maybe we'll do one when I drive home. I always say this and I never do it, but we'll see. Peace.